episode 86 of One Man's Opinion. Today I am reviewing the Broadway revival of Stephen Sondheim's bloody masterpiece, Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, directed by Thomas Kail, choreographed by Stephen Hoggett, and running at the Luntfontein Theater at 205 West 46th Street in New York City. It's amazing how casting can completely color one's opinion of a show before even seeing it. It happened to me here with Sweeney Todd when I saw the casting of Josh Groban as the titular murderous Barber. My initial response was, Josh Groban? Who thought that was a good casting choice? Now, sometimes I'm surprised by how casting choices work out, but not this time. As a singer, Groban is one of the greatest in the world today, and he shows it here, singing the role of Sweeney effortlessly, which I anticipated. But he's not a Sweeney Todd. His acting chops are not strong enough to transform into a bloodthirsty murderer hell-bent on revenge for the torturous abuse of his wife and abduction of his daughter, and himself being unjustly sent to a prison colony in Australia by the very judge who conducted all these heinous acts. There needs to be a guarded and hateful, malevolent spirit about Sweeney, and Groban doesn't capture that. The only truly great scene he has is during the Act 1 finale during A Little Priest, where he gets a few moments to really have fun, which fits more to Groban's personality. If this production continues past Groban's run in the role, I would love to see someone like Terrence Mann get a shot in the role, whom I saw perform it at Connecticut Repertory a few years back, in which he was fantastic. Yeah, he might be a little old for the role, but I don't really care. You'd look that old too if you were wasting away in a prison colony for 15 years and then lost at sea. What is lacking in Groban's performance is thoroughly made up everywhere else in Kail's production. It is phenomenal, though having a few questionable choices along the way. Mimi Lien's immersively dark, clouded world of 19th century London is a sight to behold, though I found the use of a crane to deliver the barber's chair to be a touch overly dramatic, especially considering Sweeney states in his dialogue that the chair is being delivered up the stairs. Hoggett's choreography is appropriately disturbing at times, as well as the ensemble moves in frenetic jerks and sways, depicting the fractured reality in Sweeney's mind. I particularly like several movements when they huddle up together in one mass and different actors pop up as individual voices in a globular mass. Not enough can be said about how awesome Annalee Ashford is as Mrs. Lovett, the meat pie proprietor, who has a longing affection for Sweeney but also hides a dark secret, and it's not the fact that she uses Katz as meats for her meat pies. That is until they start using Sweeney's victims. Ashford throws herself into the role, sometimes literally, as she gives one of the most physical performances of Mrs. Lovett I've seen, particularly in her first number, The Worst Pies in London, where her physical comedy adds to the hysterically disgusting process of her making her meat pies. The reason my review of Sweeney Todd has been so delayed was because of Maria Bilbao being out the day I was supposed to attend originally, and causing me to have to reschedule. And I'm glad I agreed to do so, because Bilbao is a wonderful Joanna, Sweeney's daughter held captive by the lustful and malevolent Judge Turpin, played with adequate sliminess by Jamie Jackson. Bilbao, though, rightfully captures the broken mental state of Joanna, with little twitches and tics that portray her torment. Jordan Fisher is a solid Anthony, the young optimistic traveler who falls in love with Joanna. The role doesn't have much to work with aside from pining for her over and over, and his own naivete gets him in trouble as he assists Sweeney in rescuing her from Turpin. It was great to see Gaten Matarazzo on stage for the first time. The Stranger Things star has been on Broadway for some time now and has returned as Toby, or Tobias, the young man who has his own serious mental issues as he fixates obsessively on the people he attaches himself to, whether it be the con man Pirelli, played with appropriate gusto by Nicholas Christopher, or Mrs. Lovett later on in the show. I wish the blocking was better for him in his performance of Not While I'm Around. The song is so unsettling in its blend of affection and obsession that Toby has with Mrs. Lovett, but for some reason Kail has Matarazzo in so much shadow or covered by Ashford that it's hard to read any of the nuance of his performance. Aside from Groban's acting performance, there is nothing too much to diminish from the quality of this production of Sweeney Todd. It's dark, it's visually moody and immersive. Though Groban isn't a great actor by any means, he sings the role resplendently, and the rest of the cast is great, particularly Ashford and Bilbao, who are fantastic. The design feels epic, yet not overdone. I'm grateful that we have a solid 26-piece orchestra in the pit, giving Sondheim's score the richness it so deserves. And I hope that this revival of Sweeney Todd gets a good long run, and I hope we get a better actor for Sweeney in a few months down the line. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you'd like to see Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, I'll leave a link in the description where you can get tickets. You can help me afford to continue reviewing theater by becoming a patron over on my Patreon page. Maybe one day I'll make enough money to do this by itself and not have to work a day job, so I can actually get these things done in a timely manner. A link to the Patreon page will be in the description, and whatever you can do to support my channel, that would be great. You can also support me by liking, sharing, and subscribing, and click the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be the new Broadway play, The Thanksgiving Play. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.